So, as the totally responsible YouTube doll artist that I am, I knew I finally had to fulfill my duty and make a mermaid. And because everyone does something like that, I had to make a glow-in-the-dark mermaid, which is mainly iridescent and glows in the dark. What a twist! The next shocking twist, I used a Laguna doll. The most obvious choice for a mermaid. But now comes a twist. I removed her nose, which required a lot of sanding afterwards. But the final nose removal job looked quite nice and smooth. Because I just thought, what does a mermaid or mer creature need a nose for? So it had to go. After that, I rerouted her partly or partially, or you know what I mean, with the iridescent plastic stuff, and the rest of it was a white glow-in-the-dark hair that I ordered, I think 2 years ago for a completely different project, but I never did it. I may do this other project after I did this one, sometime in the future, but who knows. So basically it was just mixing up these two as I went and rerouting her. And as soon as that was finished, I could wrap her up in some cling film, and it was time for a bit of, repaint. Surprisingly. As with my iridescent Christmas angel, I used mainly colors that I think are in most of the iridescent stuff that you can buy, and just went wild with it. I didn't really work with a concept. The only thing I knew is that she need these fish breathing things. I don't know the English word for it, and I'm too lazy to look it up at the moment. So let's go with fish breathing things. Side noses, cheek noses, slits. You know what I mean, I hope. And first it was mainly shading, and in the second round I went all in with her eyes, and I tried to mimic typical fish eyes and make them cute in the same moment. So they are quite large, they are quite blobby and fishy. I think I achieved it quite well. They could have been more to the side, but then she would have looked even weirder than she does in the end. So I think I achieved my goal here. And don't tell me otherwise, or I will maybe have to lay down on the floor and cry or something like that. And after that I gave her a third layer of painting and then it was already time for just some extra details and final steps to highlight her eyes a little bit more and stuff like that to make everything pop and look nice. And I was insanely surprised that I thought she looked cute in the end. Because the combination of no nose and fish eyes, I thought she would look weird. But she is quite cute. The only thing I didn't really achieve was to make the cheek noses look good, but doesn't matter. Then she got some lashes, and I had bought these white ones, and they were perfect for this light doll. And then I mixed up some gloss with some powder pigment that was glow in the dark as well, and glazed her whole eye with it. And I had to take a quick video because I thought it would looked already quite cool. Complete change of surrounding. I'm not at home anymore. I'm with my mom now. And yeah, I first thought about a hairdo that would look nice with her or for her, and just twisted it, braided it, did some stuff to it. And after I rubber banded, no, I didn't rubber band it. I used some yarn. But after I closed the ponytail braided thing ding, I thought, yeah, it's Elsa's hairdo. Hey, wow. But I couldn't care less because I really liked it, so I just went with it. And with all the accessories, she doesn't look like Elsa anymore. And Elsa has a nose, that is something too. Using some contact cement, I glued on some shells that I had decided to use on her, and I really loved this big one at the side because yeah, it is maybe a little bit big for her face, but I thought it was insanely cute. And yeah, then I glued some beads and everything onto her head. What was just the first step of decorations. There will be a lot more. With some white yarn that I knotted under the seashells, I stringed some glass beads in white and some that are glow in the dark, and yeah, just stitched them onto the whole braid, and some thicker pearls, some bigger beads that are recycled from some jewelry that my mom had laying around and never wore. So it ended up in my stuff and now is on the second doll, because these are the same beads that I used for the Tudor doll as well. So, yeah, the old jewelry of my mom gets some use, because she didn't wear it, and my dolls can pull it off quite nice, I think. Yeah, so just a small advice, look through old jewelry. It is insanely great for everything doll related. I started to collect all the jewelry that friends of mine threw out just because maybe I can use it. So, yeah. And what other top part could a mermaid have than seashells working as a breast supporter? So I glued them onto her body, and yeah, it looks kind of funny, but it is one of the basic things you can do. I'm so not, yeah, innovative sometimes. And yeah, as you already see, more bling was added to her, this time iridescent crystals and beads and sequins and all I could find what was iridescent went onto her. I do like it. I do like it very much because I think it looks cute. Normally I don't decorate my dolls that heavy, but with her I went a little bit wild. Now I have to call out someone. Kitsy, attention, now for the next step, because it may help you with your fairy dolls. I had an iridescent fabric that I used on my iridescent angel, and I just made the pattern and outlined everything with glue, because this fabric is fraying a lot. And then I cut out kind of a curl thing to get some flounces in the end. And yeah, I glued, or put a layer of glue around it too, and after that dried, I had quite amazing, not fraying, pretty flounces. And this could be something for you too, Kitsy. So, went totally great. So, nice thing to do. I think I will do this more often now. Of course, a mermaid that knows who she is needs something fins. And I used plastic wrap stuff in iridescent and just dabbed some glue onto it to sprinkle a bit of glow-in-the-dark powder over it and glue the different portions together, which went quite well, I have to say. And after this was dry, I took out some wire and made the frame for the fins, put another layer of wire on top of it, and ironed it down. I had to iron it several times because it wanted to split, and yeah, I cut it out a little bit too near around the edges in the end, but after I cut out the shapes that I wanted and burned all the edges, I secured everything that went loose with a little bit of extra the sticky tape. Yeah, and melted that down too. And with that, the fins worked. Then I used some Mod Podge again and mixed different colors of glow-in-the-dark powder and dabbed it all over her, especially onto her breast shells and some points on her face and head, and yeah. Because I needed a place where to attach the back fins, I used a screw and heated it up and pushed it into her back, and poor little thing, but it worked quite well. Then it was time to cut the flounces, and I cut them on the line that I glued them before, so that you have one half at the hem and the other side has some glue as well, so that everything stays secure. At this moment I thought, let's ruffle them up a bit too and use them as kind of a fin on the tail. And yeah, I worked quite hard on this to get it done, and then I cut out my pattern that I made for the fin pant thing, because I decided no, she won't get a tail instead of legs, she will get legs and a tail. So I made a pattern that is kind of a combination of a underpants thing and a tail. And I cut this out of faux leather fabric that was iridescent AF. And yeah, then I just put the flounce between it and sew up the back seam. And the moment I turned it, I ripped out the whole flounce. So, meh. But I decided to go with it anyway and put in the fin, glued it in place with contact cement again, and with that, the fins worked quite nice. And just because I can, I dabbed on a lot of glue and drowned the fins in glitter. Just because. Looks great. And it secures the edges of the fins a little bit more, and I really have to say I like the look. It's a little bit much, but she is insanely kitschy, I think. But I do like this. I really do like this. I don't know why, but I do. Maybe it has to balance my love for horror adults that I just lived out in my last video, so nobody knows. It looks quite funny, to be honest, to have insanely cutesy dolls and next to them the horror dolls are there. Interesting concept. And then it was time to stuff out the back fin thing, tail, and glue it onto her body. I couldn't be bothered to make it removable because, first of all, I don't think that I will redo dolls that much, and if I will do them or redo them, they have to go through heavy transformations. So, yeah, normally I just attach the stuff permanently on to them. They are all dolls in the end. I don't want to play with them. I just want to have them and have them sitting around because I think they are pretty. So, for me it's totally fine to have the stuff on them permanently. With that, she had the best of both worlds. She had her fin, tail thing, and her legs. It's neglected my whole concept that I had in mind at first, but I thought this was the best solution for me. And because gluing everything on was so damn convenient, I decided to glue on her skirt as well, and yeah, then just put on some beads there again, mixing white beads with glow-in-the-dark beads. And with that, I made some last little details, like her top that goes over her shells, and she was finished. I really enjoyed making her. I always like to do stuff, yeah, on the go, because working from a concept is not really what I can do or what I like to do. So this one was a lot of fun again. As much as I loved my last doll, the horror Angie doll, this one is so much more fun because it doesn't require me looking always to a concept. And yeah, here she finally is, in all her sparkling glory first, and then in all her darkness glory next. I hope you enjoyed this video and you may like her. Let me know in the comments and have a nice time, and we will see us in the next video. Bye.